Welcome to Cage Minds. I'm Micah Frankel. It is fight week. Fight week, yes, for BKFC 65. And I am lucky enough to be joined by one half of the co-main event. When you look at the lightweight rankings, there's a number 5 next to his name, Bobby Taylor. Thank you for the time, sir. How you doing?
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yes, sir. Thank you for having me on. Doing great.
My pleasure. We know that you've been hungry to get back into action. I saw interviews about 10 months ago, a year ago. You were really hungry for it, looking for a big opportunity. Now it's 2 fights in that time. How does that feel for being active?
It feels good. Like I said before, my last fight, I had like a 15-month, span there where I, you know, layoff where I didn't get anything, and man, it was rough. Like I said, it's hard to train when you don't have anything coming up and nothing in the, in your sights or whatever. But yeah, these I've had. This has been my second fight this year, and I'm excited to get back in there.
Was it easy to get excited for Ryan Roberts? I know that you had been looking at a point possibly for Soto, possibly for somebody else with a number next to their name. So what was it like training and getting motivated for a really tough guy, but not somebody with the name recognition you wanted?
Yeah, well, I didn't underestimate him as far as his name. I mean, the guy had 40 plus professional fights. He fought in the UFC and Bellator. I mean, I knew he was going to be a tough opponent. But to be honest, my training for that fight was lacking. And I think it was just due to the 15 months off. Like I said, because after I got back, I had a cut, a doctor stoppage in the Lily fight. And so as soon as that healed up, I got right back in the gym, man, was hitting it hard and expected something, pretty soon. And then, it took so long to get it, I'd kind of lost my intensity or whatever. So when the Roberts fight come up, it was a little lackluster camp. I didn't train for it properly, and I think that's the reason the fight was so tough. I said taking nothing away from him, he was a super tough guy, but I think I could have did a lot better. I should have prepared more, and that really opened my eyes up. And I've changed my camp and a lot better shape, and a lot more prepared for this one.
Fight of the year caliber exchanges in there is what we're hearing screamed on commentary. Are you proud of that fight? Are you satisfied with that fight? Like, how do you feel about what was created in that war?
Well, I hate to say that I'm really excited that the fight turned out to be the fight of the night and this and that, like I said, but I think it got me some recognition. I think that type of exciting fight got me this fight. I think I was kind of being pushed aside due to my age, but after that, they saw that I could still, stay in there and bang. But I was disappointed in myself. Like I said, it was a. I mean, I know I'm tough. Like I said, I know that it's going to take a beating to take me out, but I expected a lot better of a fighter for myself. Like I said, I feel like I was lacking. I've never even watched the fight. I haven't watched a replay of the fight because I'm afraid I'm going to be disappointed. Even though it was fight of the night, to this day, I still haven't watched the replay of the fight because I was just disappointed in my preparation for it.
Were you proud of overcoming the adversity? You get stopped by a cut, and then you're cut twice early on in this fight, and you're able to manage it, overcome, and get the victory.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I said, I take a lot of pride in my heart and my willpower. Like I said, I think of the first punch split me open. I think it was over this side. Like I said, and I dealt with that through the whole fight, having white blood out of my eye to see. I was afraid they were going to stop it, but yeah, definitely. I feel some pride for knowing that I'm tough enough to overcome that kind of a fight, and what he was bringing to the table. Like I said, because he hit me with several shots. Like I said, I haven't went back and watched it, but just from what I could remember in the fight, yeah, I mean, I'm proud of myself for being able to take that and overcome it and to keep fighting.
When they're doing the commentary, you haven't listened to the fight because you haven't watched it back. They're like, these are two of the hardest punchers that are in the lightweight division we have in BKFC. So to up that one for your next fight, we got another guy, Jeremy Stevens, who is traditionally just one of the hardest punchers around. Do you take some kind of, is there an energy that you get from going against a guy that shares that same kind of bite down on the mouthpiece and throw mentality that you have?
Oh yeah, like I said, yeah, fighting somebody like that, especially like I said, I've watched Jeremy fight several times over the years. Like I said, was a fan, but yeah, I love the energy. But like I said, yeah, the energy of me knowing what I'm coming up against, man, I've really upped it in my camp, and this gave me a lot of drive and to train harder and prepare. But yeah, I'm excited about this one. I think it's going to be a good fight.
What are some of the details of your camp that you can share with us when you say upping the camp? What does that entail?
Just the intensity and the amount of work I put in. Like I said, I work for myself. I do construction work. So when I got this fight, like I said, it was just a little over a month, notice. So, but I worked like half days or whatever. Then I would leave at lunch and train for the half. Like I said, I'm not able to train full time like a lot of these guys. Like I said, which would be awesome. But yeah, I was able to swing it where I could, take off work and train a lot more. Like I said, I came down here a week early, but I've dedicated more to this fight than I have any of the others. I've put more time in the gym. Like I said, I went harder in the gym than I have for any fight. This is the most prepared I believe I've been for a fight in my whole career.
This is the biggest named opponent of your career. Like, what does that mean to you to have worked up to get a fight of this status?
Man, it's awesome. Like I said, I take a lot of pride, like I said, in just being able to say that I've, been able to that I have the consideration. Like I said, they put me in the ring with a name like Jeremy Stevens. I mean, I come from a small town. It ain't even a stop sign. I mean, you'll drive through it, and not even know you've been there. But to come from that, and like I said, it's an hour to the closest boxing gym from my house. I drive an hour and 15 minutes one way to go train. But coming from those, humble background, whatever, like I said, I mean, nobody there ever did anything like this. So not like I had some kind of path to follow. Like I said, I've done this all myself. And I think that's one of the reasons it's taken me to this long to do it because, but I've made it, and I think it's awesome. It's a huge accomplishment for me. Like I said, just to be considered to be put in the ring with guys of this caliber. But I'm coming after him.
You said a small town guy. What town is it?
Pocahontas, Tennessee.
What about your upbringing has made you the man that you are? How has that place turned out Bobby Taylor who he is?
Probably because of being such a small and little roughneck country town. Like I said, I mean, when we didn't have anything to do, like I said, we'd get together and fight and wrestle. And I mean, that was the pastime. That was something we did for, well, we'd actually meet up to do it. I actually had cousins in a neighboring town that would bring people over who thought they were tough just so we could, fight and wrestle just as who the toughest guy around was. And that's kind of carried over to this. Like I said, I'm just at a different level, but they're still bringing guys over from different towns, to fight, and it's kind of just an elevator, from my upbringing. But that and my dad was a super tough guy. Like I said, he wasn't, like a real hard, but like I said, he was, how to explain it. He was a very caring dad, but he was a very tough guy. Like I said, you didn't cut you any slack. You did what you were supposed to when you're supposed to. He was the kind, if you get hurt on the field, you get up and walk off. If your arm's broke, your legs work though. If you can't walk, you crawl. But I think he had whole lot to do with the toughness.
Have that toughness that sounds like ingrained in you, and you go from fighting guys on the weekend. How does that turn into, all right, well, on the weekend I'll go do MMA or boxing or bare knuckle, all these different sports that you've been involved in. How did you take it to that next level? What inspired you to do that?
Well, I started out fighting in like tough man competitions. Those are just like amateur boxing stuff. 1 minute rounds, just no training, just all whoever up there, the toughest guy around. They call it the tough man. But I started out in those, and I won 3 or 4, and then I went back to college in my mid-20s, and met some guys, and they got me say, "Hey man, you fighting those tough men? Let's do some MMA." And so I started going with them and training MMA, and I man, I liked it, so I just kept doing it. And then after a little bit, I was like, if I'm gonna fight, I might as well get paid. So I think I was 34 when I turned pro. A little late start, but I think I've made the most of it.
At 34, that was it. Why not get paid if I've been doing this for so many years?
Yep.
And now, 12 years into it, why are you still picking up the phone, looking for the fights? What is it about combat sports that keeps you involved now, even though you're a successful businessman with a construction company?
Man, I love it. Like I said, I love the competition. I love the primalness of it. I mean, there's two guys locked in there. You know, who's the baddest guy around? I don't know. I think coming from the small town and the roughneck down. I love it. I love the competition of it. It's going to be a hard thing to walk away from one of these days. Like I said, I yeah, like I said, just the competition, the pride of walking race. I mean, leaving everything in there, it's just a rush. I mean, there's nothing like it.
What was the expectation walking away from the Roberts fight? Like, what were you thinking is the conversation you're going to have with the matchmakers?
Well, I was hoping, like I said, after I found out it was fight of the night, like I said, I was really hoping, like I said, that would warrant me a bigger name or a ranked opponent. And like I said, I knew that I didn't, in my mind, I didn't perform as well as I expected myself to. But but for other people looking in, they just seen a real tough fight and a gritty guy and all that stuff. And I know it looked good publicity wise, but I was disappointed in myself. But I think to everybody else, it's just a great fight, and I think it earned me the shot that I've got.
We look at the bare knuckle rankings, and you're right there at number 5. This is a huge name. The title fight is already on the book for October. What do you think the trajectory looks like from here? Is this the win you think you need to get to that place you want to be?
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, my understanding, like I said, this is the number one contender fight. The winner of this gets the title shot. So yeah, yeah. I think this win right there should cement me in the next, the title fight after it's determined, in Spain.
Jeremy Stevens, as we said, a hard puncher, a lot of MMA experience. You have quite a bit more bare knuckle experience. What do you feel is going to be some of the difference makers in this fight for you?
I think I want to say my grittiness and toughness and my ability, but like I said, I think he's got all that stuff too. Like I said, I'm taking nothing away from him, but I think that I just wanted more. Like I said, he's been in the fame and the light. I don't think he's as hungry as I am. Like I said, I know that I'm going to be going on my way out for it too long. I mean, I'm a realist. I'm 46. I know it can't last forever, but I don't think he wants it as bad as I do. I want to put my name in the books before I walk away from it.
What kind of story, though, would that be able to be written if you're able to accomplish what you want to get a victory like this? Like, what would that mean to you?
It would mean the world. Like I said, I mean, I can't go back. Like I said, the humble beginnings. Like I said, I come from nowhere. I went through a lot. Like I said, I want to get into my whole story, but I said it'd be a good one if it ever came out. But yeah, it would definitely be a great ending to it. It would put the icing on the cake.
Are you planning a book? Is there a movie deal? Is there something in the works you're thinking of why you don't want to tell the whole story?
Well, it's just a long one. There's a whole lot of stuff in there. Like I said, I've been down through there. I've been down through there. Uh, but yeah, like I said, if we get a really great ending, there's possibilities, I guess. But like I said, we got to have a great ending first. So we'll see how this goes.
Story, it sounds like there's been a lot of profound moments. So I gotta ask you, what are you most proud of now about where you are today?
Just my commitment. Like I said, not giving up. Like I said, I've been up and down in my careers, and like I said, I did this. Win some, lose some, me losing the streak, blah blah blah. But I never quit. I never got discouraged, and just the ability to stick it out this long. And like I said, I've got to the top, and I've never ran my mouth. I've never had any drama. I've never had to talk to anybody or jump in the ring to take somebody else's spotlight to get light shined on me. I take a lot of pride in that, especially when I know my kids see me. Like I said, some of these guys act a fool, and I'm like, your kids are watching. But I've got to this point, and I've never had a, I've never showed my ass to get where I'm at or get the attention on me, and I take a lot of pride in that as well.
The cuts that you've suffered in these fights, last two fights in a row, you were worried one was stopped by a cut. You were worried the other one could be stopped by a cut. Does that adjust your thought process or the way you attack slightly just to avoid getting hit in some of those areas?
No, I don't even consider that. Like I said, I know that it could be an issue, but that doesn't factor into my fight style. Like I said, I'm coming, and whatever happens, happens.
Gonna be amazing, people. It's co-main event for a reason. This is like excitement personified. I had seen an interview where it seemed like that you called out to want to get on the first card. Are you particularly happy that you're able to be on the second card in Utah?
Yeah, well, I'm excited about being here, but like I said, it's the location doesn't really matter to me. Like I said, I'll fight anybody anywhere. But yeah, the Stevens was top. The name and the hype behind this fight is where it's at. Like I said, I'd love to. I'd make this fight anywhere, but yeah, I'm super hype about it.
Super hyped about it. Everybody, you know how to watch it. It's the BKFC app. It's this Friday night. It's the co-main event. Super excited, and it's been such a pleasure to get the opportunity to talk to you, Bobby. Give out the name of your company just in case anybody out there in the Tennessee area close enough to need your work hasn't heard about you.
Southern Construction.
Southern Construction, guys, if you need them, if you'd like to help me out, the Cage Minds t-shirts are available at ziashirts.com. And we also, like everyone else, have a different energy drink sponsor. So check out our friends at Dubby right now this week, 20% off with the checkout code Cage Minds. Bobby Taylor, BKFC 65 home main event. Again, sir, thank you for the time.
Sir, thank you. I appreciate it.